What is going on, everybody? So in the last video, it was an update, obviously, of what I have going on so far. This video will be strictly on the car only, or only on the Miata. So without further ado, I guess let's give the Miata a quick look over. This will be a short, quick, and easy, dirty video. So not a whole lot's gone into it yet. I'll show you what I have going on so far in the two areas that need the most attention. I'm waiting on time, I guess, to pretty much do everything. All I have really left to do is actual body filler work, and then primer, and then paint. So I'm going to have to go and spend all my money on primer, sandpaper, more sandpaper, and paint. So yeah, I've already spent $60 on paint just for the engine bay. So yeah, good thing I have a second job. Woohoo. Okay, let's go. Okay, we will start here on the front of the car. As you can see, engine and all that stuff still in, but I have painted this area of both sides of the car. This side you're not really going to see a whole lot, just kind of in this general area. You know, the headlight will be here, and then it's got the gross ass looking wiring harness and stuff like that. But on this side we are going to do a cold air intake where the heat shield will actually come all the way up here to the upper tie bar and run all the way back here to the firewall in between, actually just right in that area, and it'll come all the way through here. It'll go all the way up to the hood, and I'll have a seal up there, so this whole section over here will be sealed off from the engine bay. The air filter will be hopefully located in this general area somewhere. I have a mushroom filter going on there, so for now it's there just to move the car in and out. I'm doing a wiring tuck as well, so hopefully this whole side of the car will look somewhat decent. No nasty gross wires draping through here. I'm going to go through and re-loom some of these wires that you will be able to see. I test fitted the headlight just to see where I needed to run the wires for the tuck. I chopped a square hole here. I have already touched up with some paint and stuff like that. So I'll go through with some door edge guard and I'll glue it in so that way the wires aren't chafing on the sharp metal. I went through and actually added an extra hole above the factory hole here, so that way I can run a zip tie through there to have the harness zip tied up to the upper frame rail area. I did that on both of these right here. I came back here and I used a cutoff wheel on the Dremel, and I actually cleaned out this inner area here. It worked really well, and I got out the belt sander, my mini belt sander, to clean up the edges because they were kind of all chopped up and nasty looking. This is the belt sander that I bought. The cutoff wheel that I got for the Dremel, I got it from Ace Hardware or whatever, and it was 80 bucks, or 18 bucks, and it came with a little chuck thingy to attach it, and like 3 or 4 of the cutoff wheels. And like I said, I touched up those areas with paint so far. And then let's get on to the other part of the car. I have, as you guys saw in the update video, I had the car completely taped off and and bag for paint, but I went and sprayed epoxy primer all along the windshield frame there. It's kind of hard to see with the light, but the epoxy primer is some stinky shit. I sprayed just one can of it. Only 11 ounces of this I sprayed. And it stunk up apparently the neighbor's place on the other side of that wall. So I have added to my Hot Wheels collection, and I actually have more in that bag right there. So, but yeah, as you can see, it's nice and black, satin black. It looks beautiful, but we're gonna paint over it. One can was actually not enough for what I wanted to spray. You know, this part of the quarter panel and this seal panel or rocker area, I guess, and the windshield frame. I also wanted to spray with that can. I sprayed my partial areas of my headlight hats, and I didn't actually get around to spraying anything else after that because I ran out. At $23 a can, I'm not going to go buy another one, so I'm just gonna deal with what I got. It's kind of hard to see here, but yeah, I mean, it's all I have left to do is actually scuff it down with some 240 grit, or 180 grit I mean, and then I'm gonna come back through here and figure out all my high and low spots. There's a high spot right there, you can actually see it in the video here. So I'm gonna have to put primer, or not primer, but body filler all the way down to the body line like before. And I'll come up to here probably, or probably halfway up the quarter panel. I don't know if you can see or not, but yeah, see a little darker spot there? Those are actually areas where whenever I was grinding the old paint off, I got around to getting too deep with the grinding bit, so now I have to actually go through and glaze putty the whole, pretty much the whole quarter panel. So, which, I mean, you live and learn. So I only painted, or yeah, primed this little area in the windshield frame. I taped off where the urethane goes for the windshield because it's best for the windshield company's windshield primer to bond to metal. So essentially that's all what I got going on with that. Yeah, man, it'll be pretty soon where I have the car ready. I have to have the car done by April 8th of this year because the import face-off is having their Kansas City car meet over at Topeka Speedway, Heartland Park, Topeka. It's a speedway there, the drag race, road course, and drifting. Went last year. It was kind of miserable because it was really windy and cold, and they have no idea what they were doing. But yeah, this is what I've been doing the last few days. I've been kind of fiddle fucking around. I need to actually get around to doing actual body work on the doors next. I'm gonna take those to work with me and do them because we have an endless supply of compressed air at work, and it's a lot easier doing stuff at work than it is at home with this little setup. You can't really use it but for a couple minutes at 90 psi, and then it'll kick on and, you know, blow your eardrums out. We're in I don't know, I'd say 20 foot deep and probably about, I don't know, 12 foot wide, 12 by 20 little garage here, so it gets really fucking loud. And I try to be nice because, you know, we live in a duplex, so there's people next door. And so I only run this when I come home from work, from about 6 o'clock until about 7:30. So I only have an hour and a half to fuck around, which that should be more than enough. But when you have to stop and wait, 2 to 3 minutes, 5 minutes at most, for the air compressor to build up, it kind of sucks and burns your time. So I'm trying to find other small projects to do for the car to make it look better. Let's see. This is the OEM fender that was on the car. This black spotchy area here. Let's see if we can turn the light on. There we go. This splotchy area here in the dents there is actually where there was damage. These are stud weld holes, and the little tits on the end there are actually chunks of body filler that came through. So apparently they had someone working on this car who had no fucking clue what they were doing. And there's also a spot back in there, which that big spot there is actually where they ran through with the spot welder. And then down here in this area you can see how it's all rigid and pitted and all that stuff. There was actually a whole bunch of surface rust down there that I cleaned up real nice and good with my belt sander. The same belt sander that I showed you a second ago. And I sprayed it all with some Eastwood rust encapsulator. This kind of stuff. I guess it works pretty good. I don't know, we'll find out in the next year or two, but like on the fender area down there on the bottom, when I get it all put on the car, I'm going to spray this car completely down with cavity wax. I'll probably use about 2 to 3 cans of cavity wax at most. 2 cans probably most, but I will use a lot of cavity wax on this thing. So anyway, I've lied and this video has turned into 11 minutes now, so I'm sorry for rambling. Please stay tuned for more videos. I have, like I said, welding projects going on. I have one going on right now, and the next video you'll see is actually probably that project that's happening. So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I ordered a new camera, an action camera that I'm going to mount on my forehead for videos, so that way you guys can kind of get a rough idea of how things look from my point of view while I'm working on stupid shit. So I'm sure some of you don't really care, because apparently the last video not even 3 people have watched it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Okay, bye.